Hello, and welcome to the course. This is Gaston College Bio 161 course, an Intro to Human Biology for the fall of 2016. I'll be an instructor, Jason Moyer, and in this video we will have a introduction to how the course is organized, how the class is set up, where you go to find important information such as your assignments, exams, grades, and so on. So we will first start off with Blackboard. Alright, when you first log into Blackboard, you will see something that looks somewhat similar to this. Now, since I am the instructor, mine will look a little bit different than yours. The key elements will still be there. So the first screen that you'll see are the announcements, and these are kept in sequential order. So when I put a second announcement, it would be listed on top of this one, and this intro message will be pushed down. And I will keep all the messages for the entire semester, just scrolling all the way down. So every announcement will be kept here on this intro screen. Also, whenever I post an announcement, it will be sent to your Gaston College email address. That is the preferred email address that the college would like you to use. So not your personal email address. So nothing at Yahoo or Hotmail or Gmail or anything like those. The college would prefer you to use your official student-issued email address. All right, over on the left is where we'll have the various links to what you would need. Alright, we'll first start off with the course information. And in this page, you'll find the course syllabus, you'll find the course schedule, the grading policy, participation policy, getting started with certain software that you will absolutely have to know how to use, mastering A&P, and some information about the textbook. And we'll start off with our syllabus. Alright, this is a pretty standard look for all syllabi at Gaston College. You have, of course, the name of the course up here, information about me and how to reach me. Of course, my name, Jason Moyer, phone numbers, my office phone number, and my cell phone. And the preferred way that I would like to be contacted by students is either by text or by email. That way there's a record of you contacting me and then me contacting you back. And here's my email, moyer.jason@gaston.edu. My office location is on the Dallas campus, the Roush Building, 216. My office hours throughout the week. Course description. All right, a course description. The official name of the course is an Intro to Human Biology, but what this really is an introduction to anatomy and physiology. So we'll cover such topics such as cells and tissues, going over the different body systems that we have, the various learning outcomes that you'll have once you will get through this course, and be able to explain and follow the steps of the scientific method in theory and in practice, be able to explain the levels of biological organization, understanding the role of chemistry and biological systems, understanding the structural components of cells and their processes, and there's a long list of things that you'll be able to do once we get through this course. See some information about the course itself. It's a 3-credit-hour course. And because it is online, there's no lab component to our class. See the textbook that you need, Essentials of Human Anatomy and Physiology, the 11th edition by Elaine Marieb. And this part here, the online software, this is something that you absolutely must have. Every assignment except one in the entire semester is based from this software. And it's modified Mastering A&P. It's issued by Pearson Higher Education. We'll talk more about this software here in a few minutes. How the course will be graded, I have it broken down here. You'll have a quiz on every chapter that we cover. We'll cover 13 chapters. So 13 quizzes at 75 points each, be a total of 975 points for that group. There are a study module that you'll complete in every chapter. Those are worth 20 points each. Your midterm and final exam, those are both worth 250 each. The discussion board icebreaker, which I'll go over in more detail here in a second, is worth 200 points. And something that we'll do toward the very end of the course is called the GEO project, the General Education Outcome Project. So there'll be a total of 2,000 points that are available. And here's my grading scale over here. An A would be 1,800 points and higher. A B would be 1,600 points to 1,799, and so on. All right, some key things to remember about this course. And the first one is in red for a very particular reason. Because this is an online course, one of the requirements that we have to have is an icebreaker assignment. So what most online courses do is we have a discussion board icebreaker. and this is something that is completed on Blackboard. This must be completed by this Friday, August 26th, by 11:59 p.m., so just before midnight. It doesn't matter if you do it Monday or Thursday or Friday morning, as long as it's submitted by the 26th, before midnight. If you fail to do this assignment, you will be removed from the course. And that's not my policy, that is the college's policy for online courses. You must have an assignment due within the first few days of class. So for this course, I chose it to be Friday the 26th. And when we get back to Blackboard, I will show you exactly where to fill out this assignment. Alright, we will have a chapter quiz each week, and the quiz will be made available on Mastering A&P just after midnight on Fridays, and will be available all the way through the weekend up until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So you have all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday to complete that chapter quiz. Once that deadline has passed, that quiz will go away and you won't be able to access it. If you are in the middle of taking the quiz and it shuts down, any question that you didn't answer will be submitted as incomplete and then marked wrong. And when I have these deadlines here, 11:59 or so, that means it has to be submitted by that time. Don't start it at 11:59 or 11:58. It must be submitted before that deadline. Every week we'll have a chapter study module, and these are due by Friday night, just before midnight. But the modules are a way to practice material for that chapter. So they will be available all semester. So we could be in December at the very end of the course, and you'll still have access to Chapter 1's study module, for example. So you have access to all of them throughout the semester, but they are due by Friday of each week, just before midnight. You must complete one assignment each week to be considered an active participant in the class. A lack of participation could lead me to removing you from the course, as per our college policy. And scores for all graded assignments, chapter quizzes, modules, exams, and so on, will be posted under My Grades on Blackboard within 24 hours of their stated deadlines. Alright, here's the Arts and Science grading policy. Every course in the Arts and Science division, not just mine, but every course, is based on a 10-point grading scale. So 90% to 100% would be an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, and so on. Here's some other examples of grades that you could get. I for incomplete, of course F for unsatisfactory or failing, withdrawing or audit. Alright, students' rights and responsibilities. On the first day of class, the instructor will provide students a syllabus, and course objectives, grading policies, and classroom policies, which is what this video is covering. Assignments will be graded with constructive feedback and returned in a timely manner, usually within 2 days. Because this is an online course, you will get your grades for your assignments just after you submit them. The only exception for those would be the Geo assignment toward the end of the course and the discussion board icebreaker. Our students will regularly use text and other course materials as stated in the syllabus, and the course activities will adhere to college and course outcome. Now, as an instructor, this is what I can expect from you as a student. Students will read the syllabus and ask for clarification if needed. If you have a question about the course, odds are very high it's found somewhere in the syllabus or in this video, or perhaps both. But if you still can't find what you're looking for, then please ask. Students will submit assignments that have been completed independently on time, and students will obtain and use all required course material. You cannot do this course without having Mastering A&P, and that's something we'll discuss in more detail here in a few minutes. Alright, this is a fairly recent addition to most syllabi here at Gaston. Most academic matters generally will be left to the discretion of the faculty member. Instructors have the academic freedom to cover the material on the departmentally approved syllabus in a variety of different ways. Some instructors may have primarily lecture formats, while others may have class discussion, participation-driven formats. Some classes, by nature of the course, cover controversial topics. This does not mean the instructor personally espouses a particular point of view, whether it be lifestyle or religious affiliation, ethnic view, or so on. Student persistence and success plan. And as your instructor, I am committed to helping you do as well as you can. Now, you still have to do the work yourself, but I'm here to offer any help that I can. If there are issues that come up that may prevent you financially from purchasing a book or the software, or perhaps both, you can contact the Office of Persistence and Retention, and here's their phone number here, and also the link to where they are on the college's website. So there are ways that the college can help you if you need some financial help for materials. Participation policy. The college policy is you must participate at least 90% in a class or more. If you fail to do so, we as instructors have the right to remove you from a course or to issue you an F. Okay, and for the class policy, I mirror what the college says. And plus, in a course like this, if you aren't participating on a weekly basis, you aren't going to do well anyway. If you keep missing modules and quizzes week after week, then I will remove you from the course. I don't like doing that, but I will if I need to. A makeup policy is your responsibility as a student to obtain any missed content or material. And there is no makeup opportunities for any unexcused absence, for quizzes, exams, modules, or anything. Because you'll be given the full schedule of when every single assignment is due here in this video, and it's also on Blackboard. So there is no excuse for not knowing when something is due. So there are no makeups in this class for any unexcused absence. That's the course withdrawal procedure. This is in bold and in red for a reason. The last day to withdraw from a class for the fall of 2016 is November 17th. If you are on a class roster after that deadline, you must receive a grade. A, B, C, D, or F. If you try to withdraw yourself after that deadline, you will automatically get an F. If you withdraw before this deadline, you will get a W on your transcripts. It won't impact your GPA, however. So if you are borderline around this time and you aren't sure if you should stick around or not, then please talk to me. Now, getting a W on a transcript is a lot better than getting an F. With the college policy, it is your responsibility as a student to withdraw from the class. You're able to sign up for the class, you should be able to withdraw from the class. So don't just assume that if you stop doing the work, I will notice that and I will withdraw you. I may do that, but I may not do that. So it is your responsibility as a student to withdraw from a class. The student behavior policies. Any behavior that will interfere with the learning process or the teaching process will not be tolerated. You are a college student, so you are an adult. So you will be treated like an adult. Academic dishonesty policies. Cheating will not be tolerated at any level. And here are some various forms of cheating: fabrication and falsification, plagiarism, multiple submissions. If it's found that you were cheating, not only will you be thrown out of the class, you'll be thrown out of the college. So it's really not worth the risk of cheating on a quiz or an exam, because there are ways for us as instructors to determine if you have been cheating. So it really is not worth it. The electronic devices. During a chapter quiz or during a midterm or final exam, no cell phones or no electronic devices are allowed. See the ADA statement. There's every reasonable effort made to accommodate learning needs for students who have an accommodation. So if that applies to you, then please let me know. Academic complaints. If there is an issue with the course or me, here are my bosses and how to contact them. The chair of the Science and Math Department, Dr. Armstrong, her office, her phone number, her email. And her boss, the Dean of Arts and Sciences, Heather Woodson, her office, her phone number, her email. Here's our course schedule. Remember, we will be doing a chapter a week, both a chapter module and a chapter quiz. The chapter 1, the human body and orientation, then basic chemistry, then cells and tissues, skeletal system, muscular system, and then nervous system. And then we'll have our midterm exam. The midterm exam covers everything that we've covered up to that point. All right, after midterm, we have the endocrine system, blood, cardiovascular system, respiratory system, digestive system, urinary system, and then reproductive system. And then our final exam. Now the final exam covers material from the midterm forward. So it is not a cumulative semester-long exam. So the final covers from chapter 9 onward. Now the last page of the syllabus is a signature page. There are multiple ways you can handle this. You can either print this out, send me a picture of your signed copy of this, or you can just email me directly saying, I have read the syllabus and I understand and agree to the policies stated there. So by signing this or by sending that type of email to me, you are agreeing to the classroom policies. You can't come back later and say, well, I thought I'd be able to drop a midterm exam. I didn't know there was a GEO assignment. So take the time to go through the syllabus and read the sections that we didn't cover here in this video, and make sure that you fully understand how the class will work before you sign anything. Going back to Blackboard, just below the course syllabus is our course schedule. And on this list is every single assignment that you have for this semester and when they will be due. So like I mentioned earlier, there's no excuse for not knowing when something is due. And if you follow the dates, you'll notice that The modules are always due every Friday night, then the quizzes are due by every Sunday night. You can submit them before those days, which is fine, but the latest you can turn them in are on those deadlines. So by this Friday, you have 2 assignments. You have the icebreaker on the discussion board, and also the chapter module, both due before midnight on Friday. And the only time where the quiz and module schedule gets thrown off is right after chapter 15. The following weekend is Thanksgiving weekend, and I don't think it's right to have an assignment due over that time frame. I think it's time better spent with family and friends and people you care about as opposed to doing an assignment online. So we will not have an assignment that Friday or that Sunday, and when we come back from Thanksgiving, then we'll pick up with our very last chapter. And you see the Geo project will be due by December 11th. I will post information about this project in a few weeks. It's something that is almost a cumulative project for the course. And it's not worth that many points, but it's something that is required for this online course. And like I said, we'll cover that in a lot more detail in the next few weeks. And then our final exam will be due by this time. Okay, so every assignment that you have is listed for you. All right, the grading policy, participation policy, these are taken right from the syllabus, but they're more centralized. So if you wanted to look at just the grading policy part of the syllabus, you would click there. But it's exactly the same text as you'll find in the syllabus. Same thing with the participation policy, the text taken directly from the syllabus. Getting started with Mastering A&P. This has a good list of instructions on how to both sign in and get registered and how to use Mastering A&P. We'll go over some of these links here in a second. Of course, information about the textbook and Mastering A&P software. Alright, that's all course information. Faculty information. This is info that you can take right from the syllabus. These are ways to contact me. My email, phone numbers, office number, office hours, and the ways I prefer to be contacted, either through text or email. And a little bit of a background about me here, if you'd like to read that. Now here, lecture notes. These are broken up by either groups of 2 or groups of 3 chapters at a time. And all the notes are in PowerPoint format, and they're all listed like this. And the notes will be posted before we start that week's material. So as of right now, chapters 1, 2, and 3 are already available. So before you start chapters 5, this information will be posted also. Now because this is an online course, I realize for some people, they're able to read lecture notes and be fine with it. But other people need it explained a little more in a detailed way. What I've decided to do is record all these chapters like I were giving a normal lecture in a seated class. So all those links will be here. Okay, in the video you're watching, that link will be right here. But as of right now, the first 3 chapters are available. These are all YouTube links. They're found on my YouTube channel. So if you prefer to watch the lecture as you read the notes, that's fine. If you just want to look over the notes and read them, that's fine too. Whatever works better for you. So there will be links to every single chapter that we cover, and they are just me giving the lecture like I normally would. Alright, we'll come back to Mastering A&P here in a second. The discussion board. Here's what I meant by the icebreaker discussion that is due by this Friday. And all this is an introduction from you to the rest of the class. So you'll click on this thread here, and you'll basically give your name, where you're from, the reason why you're taking the class, any concerns you may have the class, anything in particular that you'd like to share. So I don't want an essay of 1,000 words, but I don't want, hi, my name is John Smith, and that's it. If it's that short, you're not going to get credit. So just a brief introduction of who you are, and then why you are taking the class. So that would be your icebreaker. And that would be listed here. Create your thread with your name. And if you have general questions about the class, you can put it in this thread here. The odds are if you have a question about the class and someone else in the class does also, you put it here. If you have questions about a particular chapter that we are covering, each chapter has its own thread here. So make sure that you're putting it in the right area. If you have a question about chapter 9, don't put it in chapter 5. And I will be checking the discussion board 2 or 3 times every single day. Because this is an online course, I want to make sure I get to everyone's question as quickly as I can. Information about the Geo project that will be posted probably by late September. This is not anything that you need to worry about at the moment. But the biggest area that you'll spend the bulk of your time in this course is going to be here, Mastering A&P. And this is how it will look once you get in. And different links for the homepage of Mastering A&P for the course, and then the assignments. The online textbook, if you get that version, is here. Now, with this kind of software, there have been some very common issues that come up with how you register, how you get access for it. And because this is such a vital part of this course, we'll get into those common issues here now. Alright, first of all, Mastering A&P is required for this course. Now, every study module is done through Mastering A&P. Every chapter quiz is done through Mastering A&P. Your midterm and your final are all based from Mastering A&P. So you must have an access, or you must be able to log in and use that software correctly. Because if you don't, you're not going to do well in the course. Secondly, you will need an access code to log in and to use Mastering A&P. Now, students fall into one of three categories typically when it comes to this software. One, you bought a brand new textbook from the bookstore on campus and it has the access code with it. Or you bought a new textbook from the bookstore and it doesn't have the access code. Or three, you have either rented the book or you bought the book from someplace other than our bookstore. Kindle, Amazon, so on. So we'll go over what you need to do in each of these situations. Alright, first, if you bought the new textbook from our bookstore and it has access code, then you are fine. You don't need to do anything. Just make sure that you're able to log in to Mastering A&P, but you log in from Blackboard. Do not go through the publisher's website. Log in from Blackboard, because all you need is the access code that's given to you within the book. If you don't log in from Blackboard directly, I won't see that you have completed the work. And if I don't see that you've done it, then I'm going to assume that you didn't, and you'll get a 0. Alright, second, this is the one that's the most involved. If you bought a brand new textbook from the bookstore and it doesn't have the access code, you can return it for one that does have the code. But you must have the receipt in order to exchange the books, because you cannot exchange the books without one. If you bought the book using your financial aid, your receipt can be looked up through a database, even if you don't have your paper receipt. Make sure that when you're getting the new book, that it says Modified Mastering A&P. If it doesn't have the word modified in it, then you're getting something different. So you must be using Modified Mastering A&P. If you don't have the receipt, then you must buy an access code from the publisher directly. There's no way I can get around that. But if you use financial aid to buy it, your receipt can be looked up. But if you pay it out of pocket, or if you can't find a receipt, you have to purchase it from the publisher directly. And scenario number 3, you either rented the book or you bought it from somewhere else other than the Gaston College bookstore, then you must buy the access code from the publisher. And there are 2 formats you can buy it in. One comes with an electronic textbook, and one doesn't. It depends on what you want. The one that has a textbook is a little more expensive than the one that doesn't, but of course you're getting more information and more resources. Alright, so now we covered the issues that come up with Mastering A&P. Now we'll get into how it looks when you log in and what everything does. Now once you're able to get access to the software, the main section that you'll go to will be here, Mastering Assignments. And remember, mine will look a little bit differently than yours because I am the instructor. But there are 2 ways you can look at this. There are the calendar format like this, or in a bulleted list form of assignments. But every different type of grade has a different color. So as you can tell here, the study modules have this pink salmon color. And if you hover over each one, it'll tell you the chapter title of that study module, when it is due. And you can see here the Chapter 1 study module due by Friday, August 26th at 11:59 p.m. So every module will look like this. All the quizzes will be this light Carolina blue color. And you can see right now Chapter 1's quiz is not available yet. It will be available on Friday, August 26th at 12:01 a.m., just after midnight on Thursday night, and you'll have up until Sunday night to take it. After that time, 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, it's going to turn itself off and go away, and you won't be able to access it beyond that point. So every assignment that you have from Mastering A&P, which is every assignment except the discussion board icebreaker, will be found here. August 2016, September, and so on. So you have a complete list of when your assignments are due and broken down by color. The exams will be a different color than the modules and the quizzes. Okay, going back to the Blackboard area, here the Pearson eText is just an electronic version of the textbook. If you prefer to go that route, some people prefer to have an actual textbook in their hands. Others don't really have a preference. It's exactly the same setup as your textbook, just in an online form. That's a good resource to use if you choose to get the electronic version. There's one activity here that's listed as an assignment, but it's not really an assignment. It's more of a tutorial on how to use Mastering A&P. It's called Introduction to Mastering A&P. And it isn't something that's going to be graded, or you aren't going to be penalized if you don't do it. But I really highly recommend that you do it, and I will change the date where it actually appears here. But this will give you a good feel on how to maneuver your way through a study module, how things are supposed to work. So even though it's listed as an assignment, it's not an assignment. It's just a tutorial. Going back to here, the study area is another good resource for content broken down by chapter. If you go up here to this drop down arrow, all the chapters for the book are listed here. So let's say you need more help on the skeletal system. You click on that, click go, and there are various quizzes, various ways to practice, flashcards, and a glossary. It's a practice test also. So every chapter has their own little study area that is specific for that chapter's information. That's another good resource to use as a student. I think that covers most of what you would need to get started for this class. Again, the main areas that you'll spend most of your time on Blackboard will be the announcements. And especially with this being an online class, make sure that you pay attention to the announcements, especially if you don't check your Gaston College email address. Important date reminders will be there, project deadlines, and so on. So it's important that you are keeping up to date with this content and with information. So there, of course, lecture notes or videos, depending on which one you choose to use. It doesn't matter what you use, to me, as long as you are getting the information and you are comfortable with how you get that information. The discussion board, of course, in the first week, this will be something that you all do. And if you have questions beyond that point, please list it in the corresponding chapter. And of course, the biggest bulk of time will be spent here under Mastering A&P. Every assignment in this course, except the discussion board icebreaker, is based off of Mastering A&P. So if you don't know how to use it, you need to ask for help fairly quickly. If you can't access it, you need to get help pretty quickly. Again, if you have questions about how the course will work, the answer to your question most likely will be found in the syllabus, or it could be found in this video, or on the discussion board also. And if you still can't find what you're looking for, always contact me. Either through the discussion board, or by texting me, or by emailing me. I'd much rather answer the same question 100 times than have you just assume you know what the answer is and then get something wrong later after that. So if you have a question, definitely ask. That's what we're here for as instructors. Okay, I hope you enjoy the course, and if you have questions, please feel free to contact me.